Well, I'm Francis Coppola, and I'm here in this Criterion closet surrounded by some of the greatest movies ever made. I'm very attracted right here to the complete Jacques Tati. Jacques Tati was a wonderful filmmaker who believed in a film he wanted to make and used his entire fortune because the financing system of the time wouldn't finance it. And it came out and it was a big flop. And he died sort of penniless, not realizing that this film he put everything up for, which was called Playtime, was going to be considered today the masterpiece that we consider it, and more than a masterpiece because it's a gift of a really good time, a really lot of fun for everybody. I think he's the only filmmaker other than present company who took a big hunk of what wealth he had earned in his life and put it up to make a film that nobody else would make, and his film. And usually when you do that, usually it withstands the test of time. So here is Jacques Tati's Playtime. I give that to this young lady over here. And as it takes me here, when people ask me, what's my favorite film of all the films I've made, I always give them the same answer. I say, well, that's like asking which is my favorite child. And I love them all, I would think differently, but equally. And I feel that way about my films. But I have a special affection for Rumblefish because I thought of it as the antidote to the saccharine sweetness of The Outsiders. And my goal was to make Rumblefish as an art film for kids. The kids at that time didn't totally get it right away. And I thought it was a very big failure and was very upset about it because I sort of loved the film. But it turns out that Rumblefish had a destiny that I didn't even know about. A lot of young people from Latin America who were inspired by the great literary boom of Latin America in that period, went to this one theater to see this weird movie called Rumblefish, which they had no idea what it was, but it somehow stuck to them. And it inspired a whole generation to become filmmakers and novelists. And they even made a film about that, which is on this, called Searching for Rusty James. And so, to me, the greatest award available to someone in my profession is not a big check. It's when a young person comes to you and said, and someone, especially a young person who's made films and says, I made film because I saw a film of yours and it made me want to make films because that's why I made films. And that is the greatest justification of being in the profession I'm in, when you can impart that to young people. Okay, well, here we go to Miss Arzner. And this particular film is Dance Girl Dance. And Miss Arzner was my directing teacher at UCLA. I learned so much from her, but one of the things that I repeated to my children, which is really important, she said that always sit in the same place next to the camera. Usually it's to the right of the camera because you're right there and you can not only see the cast very well, but you can look up and you can see the camera operator who has the full sensation since he's looking through the movement. And she said, more important than anything, you sit there because the actors can see you. Basically, the actors are doing what they're doing for you, and they need you to judge what they're doing. So Miss Arzner had that. One night I was there at UCLA very depressed, and I decided that, I'm going to just quit. She looked at me and she said, I've been around and I know you'll make it. I've been around and I know. And she left. And I figured, if Miss Arzner said that I'll make it, maybe I ought to stay. And I did stay. And I guess I sort of made it. So that's my Miss Arzner story. She was a wonderful, wonderful lady that we all admired so much and are lucky that we had that time with her. Well, Noel Coward is a wonderful playwright and songwriter. And when I did The Godfather, I sort of got to be so well known at a young age that they offered me many opportunities to direct operas or plays. So I did do a play, and it was a play by Noel Coward called Private Lives. And I did it with a sort of unusual twist to it. And I'm going to apply that same twist on this new material that I'm looking at. Basically, art is, and some great artists have said it. I mean, the great German poet and playwright and scientist Goethe said he's only interested in works he reads that he can make use of, that he can incorporate into his own work. And isn't that what we do? You see a film, and like I saw Antonioni's Blow Up, and I said, I want to make a film like that. And so I made The Conversation. So all of us are on the shoulders of giants, and hopefully will provide that same kind of inspiration to the wonderful young people coming along. And the truth of the matter is that cinema art always changes, and the cinema of our grandchildren is going to be out there on the edge of almost, we're not going to be able to even understand it. It's going to be so different. And I have a great enjoyment trying to imagine what that will be like. So thank you so much for this invitation to stand in the closet. And I hope that I've offered a few thoughts that might be intriguing or helpful to you.